Once upon a time, in a small town surrounded by fields and forests, there were two twin sisters, Emma and Olivia. They were born on a cool autumn day, the leaves swirling outside as their parents, John and Sarah, looked at them with love and excitement. Emma was born first, and Olivia followed just a few minutes later. From that moment on, their parents could never imagine life without these two precious girls. Emma, with her fair skin and golden blonde hair, was the one who always caught people's attention. She had bright blue eyes that sparkled when she smiled. People admire her beauty, and as she grew, Emma seemed to glow with every compliment she received. She was the one everyone wanted to talk to at family gatherings, the one who stood out in every room. There were times when Emma's beauty overwhelmed her, and she found herself constantly seeking praise and approval from others. Olivia, in contrast, had deep brown skin and dark curly hair. Her eyes were a warm shade of brown, and while she had a gentle beauty about her, it was often overshadowed by Emma's striking appearance. Olivia noticed early on how people would comment on Emma's beauty, praising her for her golden hair, fair skin, and bright smile. But no one ever said anything like that about Olivia. Over time, Olivia began to feel less and less important, as if her worth was measured by how she looked, and she was never quite as good as Emma. "I wish I looked like her," Olivia would whisper to herself as she gazed at Emma's sparkling blue eyes and golden hair. "I wish I were just as pretty." Even though Emma was the one who always received praise, Olivia loved her sister dearly. They spent hours together playing, talking, and sharing their dreams. Their bond was so strong that no one could break it. They would laugh together, plan their future adventures, and dream about the days to come. But as they grew older, Olivia began to feel that their bond was slowly slipping away. Emma's popularity and growing confidence made Olivia feel left behind. By the time they were in high school, Emma had become the school's shining star. She was not only beautiful, but also confident, smart, and outgoing. She was the leader of the cheerleading squad and had a large group of friends. Boys chased after her, and girls admired her. She loved the attention and basked in it, thinking it was her due. "Of course they love me," Emma would say, laughing with her friends. "Who wouldn't? I'm amazing." Olivia, on the other hand, stayed in the background. She was quiet and kept to herself, not because she wanted to, but because she felt like no one would really care about her. She watched as Emma became more and more popular. The more attention Emma received, the more Olivia shrank into herself. She didn't feel like she had anything special to offer. She felt invisible, and the world seemed to revolve around Emma. At lunch, Olivia sat alone at the corner table, reading a book, while Emma and her friends gathered in the center of the cafeteria. Olivia tried not to care, but sometimes it felt like a heavy weight pressing on her chest. She longed for her sister's attention, but Emma was too caught up in her own world. When people spoke to Olivia, they would often compare her to Emma. "You're so quiet, Olivia," they would say. "You should be more like your sister. She's so friendly and outgoing." Olivia would smile, but inside, her heart ached. "Maybe if I was more like her, people would like me too," she would think, feeling the sharp sting of loneliness. It didn't help that Emma's arrogance grew over time. Emma had become used to being praised, and it made her forget about Olivia's feelings. She often said, "I don't know why you're so shy, Olivia. People would love you if you were more like me." But Olivia didn't want to be like Emma. She wanted to be loved for who she was, not because she looked a certain way. But despite her wishes, the insecurities kept growing. When Emma went off to college, it was like a new chapter in her life, one that Olivia felt she didn't belong to. Emma made friends quickly, joined clubs, and even found a boyfriend, Mark, who was handsome and popular. Mark was the perfect match for Emma, and everyone agreed they made a beautiful couple. They often appeared together at social events, walking hand in hand, the perfect image of a glamorous couple. Olivia went to college too, but her life there was lonely. She attended classes and studied hard, but outside of class, she spent most of her time alone. While Emma was out partying and enjoying her busy social life, Olivia quietly sat in the library or walked around the campus, wishing she could find someone who cared about her. She had friends, but they were never as close to her as Emma's friends were to her. Olivia started to believe that no one would ever care about her the way they cared about Emma. One day, Olivia was sitting by herself in the campus park, reading a book, when a voice interrupted her thoughts. "That's a good book," the voice said. Olivia looked up to see a young man standing there, a friendly smile on his face. "I've read it before, but I didn't think I'd see anyone else reading it." His name was James, and he was unlike anyone Olivia had met before. James was kind, funny, and easy to talk to. They spent hours chatting about books, life, and their shared interests. He didn't care about Olivia's appearance or her quiet nature. He liked her for who she was inside, and for the first time in a long time, Olivia felt seen and appreciated. They began meeting regularly, taking long walks through the park, talking about everything and nothing. Slowly, Olivia began to feel like she was finally finding a place in the world that wasn't centered around her sister's beauty. James made her feel special, and she was grateful for his friendship. The loneliness that had plagued her for so long started to fade away as she grew closer to James. Meanwhile, Emma's life continued to unfold with ease. She and Mark graduated from college, and soon after, she announced to their parents, "Mark and I are getting married. We're starting our life together." Everyone was thrilled for them, and Emma was filled with joy. She felt like she had everything she could ever want: love, beauty, and admiration from everyone around her. Emma and Mark moved into a beautiful house, and soon they were expecting their first child. Emma was ecstatic, but there was one thing she never expected: the unexpected complications in her pregnancy. Emma's pregnancy became increasingly difficult as the months passed. She had been so excited about becoming a mother, but the doctors told her that her health was deteriorating and the baby was at risk. One evening, she began feeling ill, and her husband, Mark, rushed her to the hospital. The doctors immediately informed her that she had a choice, either save herself or save the baby. It was a heartbreaking decision, and Emma had to make it quickly. Olivia, now closer to James, was sitting at home when she received the call. Her parents were frantic, and they told her, "Emma's in labor, but there are serious complications. The doctors say they can only save one of them. You need to come right away." Olivia's heart raced as she hurried to the hospital. When she arrived, Emma was already in the operating theater. She asked the doctors to save her child's life. The family was shocked by this decision, but Emma was adamant about her decision. Emma called Olivia. She had made one final request. "Olivia," she said, her voice weak but filled with love, "take care of my child. Please, raise my baby as your own. I'm sorry for everything, for not always being the sister you deserved. I love you, and I want you to take care of my baby after I'm gone." Olivia and her mother sat in the waiting room, praying, hoping that everything would turn out fine. But hours passed, surgery going on, and finally, the doctor came out with a look of sorrow on his face. "Olivia," he said softly, "we couldn't save Emma. She passed away during the operation. The baby is alive, but Emma, she's gone." The news hit Olivia like a ton of bricks. She couldn't believe it. She had just spoken to her sister a few days ago, and now she was gone. All of their past arguments, their jealousies, and their differences suddenly seemed so small in comparison to the pain of losing her sister. Olivia cried for hours, holding her head in her hands, feeling the weight of her grief. Olivia promised, though her heart was breaking. She couldn't let her sister's child grow up without a mother. She would love the baby as her own, even though it would never replace the sister she had lost. In the months that followed, Olivia adopted Emma's child and began raising him with James. James was wonderful with the child, showering him with love and care. Olivia and James became a true family. James loved Olivia's adopted son as if he were his own, and the child grew up surrounded by kindness and love. As time passed, Olivia found peace. Though she still missed Emma terribly, she had built a life that was filled with love. Her son grew strong, happy, and healthy, and Olivia finally realized that, despite all the pain, she had found her true calling, being a mother. James was by her side every step of the way, and together they gave their son everything he needed. One evening, as they sat together in their cozy home, James looked at Olivia and said, "You're an amazing mother. You've given him everything, even in the face of so much loss." Olivia smiled, tears in her eyes, as she watched her son play in the garden. "I'm just doing my best," she said softly. "I promise I'll always make sure he knows how much his mother loved him, even if she wasn't here to raise him herself." And so, the three of them, a mother, a father, and a son, began to live their lives filled with love, peace, and happiness. Olivia had learnt that love is stronger than appearances, stronger than jealousy, and stronger than grief. In the end, it was love that held them all together.